Welcome to another edition of Great Health, Abundant Happiness, and Outrageous Love. In this video, we're going to talk a little bit about the economy opening back up. I guess America opening back up. You see all this stuff going on with certain states. You were saying that something's happening up the highway here with Vail.
Yeah, Vail, my understanding is going to open up, I think, on Friday, and they're 18 miles up the road from where we are, but we are not opening up yet.
Yeah, and opening up means different things for everybody else because we don't really even know it's opening up in Vail.
We don't.
The governor's going to be up there. But the point is, we want to talk about the Stanford Study. I don't know if you guys saw that. There were 3,300 people that volunteered to go get their finger pricked, to take some blood, and Stanford did a study, tested for antibodies, and they found, I'm sure you guys saw this, many more people have the virus or have had the virus. It's in their system than we initially thought.
So just the facts on that, they tested 3,300 people, right? And of the 3,300, was it 5% had already had it?
Yeah. So, well, they extrapolated out. So, of the 3,300, they did the numbers, and they applied the numbers out to the whole county. So, the county, this is in Santa Clara. Yeah, Santa Clara.
Yeah.
So, there were 1,000 cases that were documented. Because of their findings, they said it's more like 50 to 80 times the cases. So 50,000 to 80,000 instead of 1,000, which is huge.
Right. If you look at it over the scope of the entire United States.
Oh no, just their county.
Just their county.
Just their county.
Wow.
So 1,000 cases in their county, 50 to 80,000 they think are more likely have been infected. Wow. So the 5% number you're talking about is that's 5% of the total population in that county. So here's the good news from this, and we're not really focused on this. This is just kind of kick this off, but this is the good news. So many more people in the country have it, have had it, didn't really have many symptoms, or maybe they're mild enough symptoms. They didn't go to the doctor, didn't take the test. You can't get the test. So many more people have had it. So when you take that large number of people who have had it compared to the deaths, because obviously, unfortunately, we know who died. The death rate is much lower than what we've been calculating.
The percentage.
Yeah, percentage.
The percentage,
Yep,
right?
yep.
Because we certainly don't want to make light of the number, the astronomical number of people that have died from this virus. It's huge.
Huge.
And the number is huge because the amount of people that it's affecting is so huge.
Yeah, the percentage, it looks like the percentage, again, do your own research here, but what I've seen, the percentage looks like the normal flu or even less in many cases. So check that out. So I guess that's the good news. The bad news is as we open up, let's say that's the same for the whole country, lots more infected, which I do believe that's the case. I mean, I have a lot of friends that were sick. I don't know how many people have said to us, I believe I had it.
Right.
I had
so
it, I
many
had this.
people.
Yeah. And so, and many people, as we know, have had it and had no symptoms at all.
Right. But they're also expanding the symptoms as well as they learn more about this virus. There were some symptoms that I had that nobody else had at the time because, I had it fairly early based on, how many people they had tested.
Right.
But now they're coming out saying that certain rashes are symptoms and other things. So I think you're right. So many more people have already had this. The bad news is if you look at the thumbnail on this video, if history repeats itself, right? And that's only if, right? Then once we do open back up, if history repeats itself, everybody else is going to, that hasn't had this, will get it. Is that correct?
Right, yeah. I'm not sure they'll be on the thumbnail unless you're going to put that up there. Maybe you will, but you're talking about 100 years ago, the last time we had a pandemic, there was a double hump. So we had the flattening out, and then everyone went back to normal, and there was another spike that was basically just as big.
Right.
So
bigger,
yeah, and a lot of people are talking about that. So that's what we want to talk about.
Yeah.
So again, this is just my opinion. I do believe people have to get back out there. Obviously, there are a lot of businesses in pain and suffering, and if you see some of these communities where there's a lot more people affected and they didn't have any symptoms or it was very mild, this starts to look more like the flu, although you had a pretty severe case. And other people have actually had severe cases and dying, but people do die from the normal flu every year.
Correct.
Lots. So, what we do want to talk about as your area opens up, it's just really important to just focus on building your immunity. I mean, that's what's key. Karen and I preach that a lot. You guys know that we're 100% plant-based with our diet and what we eat. That's very key. Eating very nutritious, so lots of fruits and vegetables. You like to talk about eating like a nutritarian. Right. If you explain what that is. Basically.
Right. So a nutritarian is somebody who eats plant-based, nutrient-dense foods. So essentially, you are fueling your body with the foods that have the highest nutritional value. So, for example, kale is one of the best things that you can feed for your body. I think we posted a immune boosting recipe for that.
Last night.
Yesterday.
Yeah, it was good. And it was great, by the way. It was delicious. And just as you're saying, so it made me feel so good that we're eating, because I know it is such an immune booster, and the garlic in there and all that other stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. And bread is about as low as you can go on that totem pole. I mean, I think if you want to go lower and you want to stick with vegan items but not plant-based, you've got your Oreos, etc. down there.
Well, I was just going to say sugar, period.
Exactly, right? Sugar, period. Although I'm a big fan of something called monk fruit, monkfruit. It has 0 value on the glycemic index, so it doesn't affect anybody's blood sugar level, which is super cool, and it tastes awesome. It's made from the monk fruit.
Right. But not really any nutrients. It's just a replacement for sugar.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we want to focus on nutrients, right?
Exactly. So you really want to focus on feeding your body, whole foods, whole vegetables, whole plants of all sorts, fruits, and just make sure that you're also hydrating. And it's really important during this time, during all times, but especially during this time, because if you haven't gotten this virus or you haven't had the flu and you do get it, by keeping yourself completely hydrated, you can flush it through your system a lot quicker.
Yeah, well, it's like all these pieces together. Your immunity is much stronger, so that you might not be able to repel it off. You may get it, but the symptoms are going to be a lot less evasive. You're going to heal much more quickly, get better quickly, the whole 9 yards. So you want to build that immunity up. So you add the second one, lots of liquids. I mean, you never really see me coming on here without a liquid, whether it's a coffee. I just happen to be drinking some water with some, elderberry crystals in here, hot water and elderberry crystals.
Another great immune booster is elderberry. It's so great. If you don't have it, get it.
Yeah.
Sleep is another really important thing. Make sure you're getting enough quality sleep, and it's got to be quality sleep. I just read that your sleeping area should be so dark that you can't see your hand in front of your face. So that's really important, in keeping it quiet and not looking at bright lights before going to bed. They actually said turn off all the overhead lights and only put on, lamps.
You mean like in this area before you go into the bedroom?
Exactly.
Yeah, because in the bedroom there's no lights at all.
No lights at all. Obviously, don't bring your phone or your laptop in there.
It's the worst thing. We all do that too. Sometimes Karen and I will catch each other doing it. Like the worst thing to do is be looking at that blue screen, whether it be that smartphone or your laptop or whatever. Right. You should shut all that stuff down a good hour or two if you can before you go to bed. That's best. But yeah, you definitely want to keep it quiet in there and cooler, all that stuff. If you guys, you can dig deep on, all the tricks to get a good night's sleep. You really want to go to bed at the same time every night and wake up at the same time every morning. You get that circadian rhythm flowing, and it's your body clock. Like, I wake up like clockwork at, 5:30 every single day, give or take, right? And it's right there. It just happens every single day, just because I've been doing this forever. So if you can go to bed at the same time and get up at the same time, you've got a better chance of getting your full night's sleep. Right?
And, start your day after you've had a great restful night's sleep. Start every morning with meditation. It's really crucial. Even if you only want to do it for 5 minutes, there's some amazing 5 and 10 minute meditations. But number one, it's a great excuse to stay in bed for an extra 5 or 10 minutes. Because I know a lot of us do look for an excuse to stay in bed for a little bit longer after our alarm goes off, if we use one. But it's also just a beautiful way to start the day. It's, there's so much gratitude in meditation, but it's something that you're doing for your own mental wellness. And right now, we need to be as strong as we can possibly be. We always should be. And this situation has put us into a state where those who aren't at their peak, are the ones that are suffering, and it's terrible. It's heart-wrenching. So it's just a great reminder. Take this time to get into your best mental and physical well-being that you possibly can.
Right. So you touched on when you said meditation, but the positivity, a positive mental attitude is very valuable. It's more valuable than people think. So, we generally like to pull in as much positive information in the morning, whether you do it before or after the meditation. I usually get up a little bit ahead of you, but I'm kind of pulling down, might be some things off of YouTube, that positive information. I'm just feeding the brain. Stay away from the news. That's the opposite. That's the negative side. Obviously I like to get my tidbits of what's going on. That's how I found out about the study. So I am looking at bits and pieces and chunks of the news online, but we never watch the news. We never turn on the TV to watch the news. That's the negative side. You want to keep that out. Keep the positive stuff coming in. I like to do that before meditating, pull in a bunch of positivity, meet with Karen, we meditate. That's generally our plan. We'll pull some more positivity down. We might work on the book, that kind of thing. But that positive mental attitude, along with that meditation, getting your head on straight, with a system of operating from a position of gratitude.
Right. It sets you up for the whole day.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And if you've got trouble with negative thoughts or issues, you're scared about everything that's going on, you do watch the news, you get caught up in this, run through your gratitude list. What are you thankful for? Let that kind of go into your brain. And it might be just whoever you're hanging out with. It might be a pet. It may be the roof over your head.
Right.
It's the fact that you can go turn on a faucet and fill it up with clean water.
Right.
It doesn't have to be really big things. It's just the simple things in life, and just build that list of gratitude, right?
And Jeffrey and I started a gratitude book. So I think it's a really fun thing to do, especially if you have kids at home. Every single day, everyone who's in your household writes something that they're grateful for. Every single day you do that. And what I found for Jeffrey and I we've been writing the simplest of things seem to be what we're grateful for. The other morning I got up and I thought, oh gosh, what a luxury to have a dishwasher. And so that's what I was grateful for. And of course, I'm always grateful for Jeffrey, number one.
I thought I was the dishwasher.
Yeah, no. And the coffee maker, the coffee beans, the smallest things, of course, then going back to the most important things like fresh water, your breath, your heart beating on its own. There's always something to be grateful for, but get yourself, just a blank notebook. You don't have to go out. I'm sure everyone has a notebook in the house, and make it fun. I know for Thanksgiving when our girls were growing up, every single year we would write what we were thankful for, and then it would be fun. We'd put the book away, and the next year we'd pull it out, and a year went by with kids and what they're thankful for over the course of a year was a lot of fun. So
only now we're doing it every day, and we're saying you should really think about that every day, right? Because that kind of puts you on track. The only thing I think we're forgetting is fresh air and exercise.
Yes.
You obviously want to make sure you're getting fresh air. I mean, I know that's hard if you're in the middle of a city. Our youngest daughter's in a big city where you walk outside. It's hard for social distancing. I know that's one of our frustrations. It's hard to get out. You're like right on top of each other.
Yes.
So that's tougher. Here at Copper Mountain, Karen and I can go out and we see someone coming half a mile away. We might switch over to the other side of the road, a different lane. But it's important to get your face out in that sun if you can. But some type of exercise, even if it's just we were just doing push-ups and sit-ups in here this morning.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's all it is, just to get the blood flowing.
Right.
And after this we will get outside, right?
Right. We'll walk, we'll jog, we'll run, we'll do something every single day. So really just make sure that you stay on your same routine. For a lot of us, this isn't that different. We work from home, anyway. So our daily schedule is really very similar to what it always was. I think the biggest difference is, we don't get our mail delivered here. It's delivered at the post office. And we do run a business, and so we usually go, pretty much every day. So we've limited to that to maybe once every 2 to 3 weeks at this point, right? I would say. And the grocery store, because we do eat, plant-based, we would go to the grocery store fairly often, if not every day, every other day, to buy fresh produce for whatever we were cooking. And now again, we're going every 2+ weeks. So outside of that, and obviously the ski mountain's closed, so we're not able to do some of the things that were in our normal schedule. But for a lot of people, working from home, is the norm. So those people should already have a routine. Those who are not used to working at home, make sure that you write out your routine. And one thing that Jeffrey and I have been doing, I found really, really helpful, I wanted to share, and we're doing it more as a trial to see, it keeps you accountable. We've got a book, the left side is me, the right side is Jeffrey, every day. So, today's Wednesday, and I have a list of things. I wrote some last night, some this morning when I woke up, of everything that I need to accomplish. And I'm talking about everything. So including my meditation, including, whatever kind of exercise I want to do, including getting our video out and getting the content for it, writing in the book, things that we do for our business with OTG, things I do for my business with Beauty Counter. Basically everything that I want to accomplish today. And, I find that writing that list really holds you accountable, and I get probably 95% of the things on my list I get to cross off, and that is just
fun crossing stuff
off. It's a joy to
Yeah.
cross them off. And if they don't get crossed, if I'm not able to cross them off, they get put on the list, the top of the list, of course, after meditation and the other things of taking care of yourself, which always come first, right?
Exactly.
And then taking care of your family as well.
Yeah, so no matter where you are in the country or on the globe, people are going to be heading back to normal, again, not the old normal, the new normal. And the new normal means different things for a lot of us.
Yeah.
That's a story for another day for us. But, as we're going back into society more so, make sure you're getting your sleep, make sure you're eating the right foods, make sure you're drinking plenty of fluids, getting air, oxygen, your meditation, the positivity. I don't know if I forget anything else here.
No, but I'd love to hear from everyone, what you're most excited about with, the reopening of America, and B, what you think you might be doing differently. I mean, Jeffrey and I have talked about it, and, when our county does open up, I don't think we'll be the first ones out there, out and about, and I think we may even change our ways and not go to the bank and the grocery store as often as we used to. We're finding that we don't need to pollute the air by driving there every single day. I mean, it doesn't make a difference if we go every day or once a week.
Well, if we're honest with ourselves, a lot of times we do these things, I'm going to say, out of boredom, or I'm going to try to put off something else. So I need
procrastination.
Yeah, I need to go to the post office today. Let me run down and check the box. And for us, it's it's like 6 miles away. You got to get in the car. You got to drive down there. You got to go in, unlock your box, and see what you got in there. It's a process.
Right.
So I think that's right. I don't think we will go as much to the grocery store or to the post office. Just there's things like that we've all just learned you can get by doing less in that area, burning less gas, polluting the air less, driving your car less. I mean, it's all good for you at the end of the day. Gas is really cheap right now. If you've seen these oil prices, which is great. But you don't really need to be burning it, right? So
right, and I think it's a great lesson that we're learning with the planet. We've seen some wildlife out here that we have never seen before, and I know a lot of other people have seen that. So if we can all do our part and try not to pollute our planet by getting out just for the sake of driving somewhere. Let's make our lives more purposeful, and the things that we do more purposeful, and also thinking about each other and the planet and the animals on the planet. I think it's there's some great lessons that we can take out of this quarantine time.
Absolutely.
Wishing you great health, abundant happiness, and outrageous love from the nest at Copper Mountain.
Good, guys. Be safe out there. We'll go ahead and put that list down in the description here so you'll have it. But do what you can to stay safe and stay healthy. We appreciate it. Thanks.